How you doing, folks? So E3 happened last week, and there were a lot of cool games that were shown there. But I'm gonna give some off-the-cuff first impressions of the Spider-Man game that was announced there. Spider-Man for PS4. I don't know if it'll be on the Xbox One. I think it should be, and it probably will be. I don't know why it wouldn't be. But so far it's just been announced as a PS4 game. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me not to put it on the Xbox One. There's no big fundamental difference between the two consoles, and particularly from what I've seen in the gameplay, from the trailer, the gameplay in the trailer, both consoles should be able to handle that kind of gameplay of this game. And also just being on another console is more sales, and I'm assuming that this game is going to come out around the time that the 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming movie will be coming out. You know, it'll sort of be a little bit of marketing for that movie, and also that movie will help advertise this game as well. Yeah, the first time I saw this trailer, I wasn't really impressed, but I watched it again today, and it looked a lot more visually impressive than I initially thought. And I also watched an interview, and the people working on it, they seem really, really excited about it, and they seem really happy to be working with Spider-Man. And just what they've been talking about, it seems like they really understand what makes Spider-Man interesting and what would make interesting gameplay with Spider-Man. But Insomniac is the developer behind this game, and they made a game called Sunset Overdrive. I don't remember when that came out. I think last year or the year before that. A recent game, and that game had really interesting traversal of the environment, and I think you could do some really interesting traversal of the environment with Spider-Man's power set. I think that character lends himself well to that kind of gameplay, and also just like momentum-based combat. You know, like swinging around, bouncing off buildings, bouncing off enemies, and just, you know, slinging around. And that kind of either makes you stronger, or you can do different types of moves and combos just from, you know, web slinging around and swinging between buildings or objects and enemies. So I think you can interact with the environment in interesting ways with Spider-Man's with his powers, and that his powers, they lend themselves well to gameplay mechanics. And then also they were talking about like mixing, you know, the Spider-Man side and the Peter Parker side, and that seems like a good idea just to keep Spider-Man humanized. And one of the developers was talking about Spider-Man's, Peter Parker's intellect, and how he has an understanding of like physics and other science and mathematics. So he was talking about, and I don't know if this is going to be implemented into the game in some way, but it would be really neat if they were able to kind of implement his knowledge of that stuff, and how that helps him out in combat, and how that gives him an advantage. And then you might be able to interact with the environments in different ways because, you know, he has that knowledge. So that's, I think, all that I have to say about that game. I'm more excited about it than I was when I first saw the trailer, and I'm looking forward to see and hear a little more about this game. So, thanks for listening, and check out my stuff, and see if there's anything else you like there.